generation still has time to have a major impact on gun violence and regulation and reform. We still have our courage to change, and we need to direct that into something great. In 1996, there was a mass shooting in Australia that killed 35 people. After the tragedy, the Australian government banned the possession of semi-automatic shotguns and rifles. There has been 1,600 shootings since 2012, and there still has not been a single ban or dramatic reform yet. The last reform was the Brady Act, restricting people who are dishonorably discharged, a history of substance abuse, or active restraining orders from purchasing firearms. However, different states have different regulations. In California, purchasers of ammunition have a fingerprint and record on file of their purchase. This is only here in California. But in the southern states where gun regulation laws are relatively loose, just about anyone can buy a gun or any without a background check or a license. Let's honor the lives lost at so many Douglas. We need to use this time to reflect on what happened and realize it's time for a change. It starts with us. Hi everyone, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Monica Shari and I'm a senior here. And I just wanted to let you guys know how we can get involved as teenagers. So as teenagers, we know the struggle of having our opinions not being validated based on the premise of our age. We're told that we're too young to know anything, or that our opinions don't matter because we can't vote. The reality is, we are the future. We are the future activists, voters, and lawmakers of the world. What the adults in charge refuse to change now will be overturned by us before they know it. Our unique experience of attending a school in a developed country where school shootings are commonplace will shape our thoughts on policies that some adults simply refuse to see. The March for Our Lives movement is far from the first time teenagers have shaped policy and politics. History has shown time and time again that teenagers are capable of creating positive change. Teenagers such as Barbara Rose Johns took a stance during the Civil Rights era and protested non-violently by organizing strikes for desegregation of schools. Her efforts with the NAACP and research were eventually used as one of 5 cases presented to the Supreme Court in Brown versus Board of Education, which led to the federal desegregation of public schools. During the Vietnam War, student activists took to the streets or wore symbols of peace when the draft increased and when violent images of the war were broadcast. 13-year-old Mary Beth Tinker fought to wear her black armband at school, leading to the Supreme Court case of Tinker versus Des Moines. The Supreme Court ruled in Tinker's favor, stating students don't, quote, shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the schoolhouse gate. History proves that teenagers can be effective of initiating change. Though some of us may not be old enough to vote, we still have far more power than we realize. Our generation is truly the generation of technology. Contacting our senators and representatives in Washington, D.C. and Sacramento has never been easier. The vast majority of us have smartphones. So y'all can download an app called Capital Call, and if you guys can do it right now, that'd be great. All you have to do is enter in some information about where you live and about your constituency. And with the press of a button, you can literally call any of your senators. You can call Senator Feinstein, Senator Harris, you can call Representative McNerney, and it's literally at the push of the button. And this app even has scripts where you can use, and you know exactly what to say to make sure that your argument is most effective. And for those of us who have phone anxiety, because I know that's a thing, you can take a few minutes to just pen an email or even a tweet to your politician. With an email, you're almost guaranteed a response from your legislator. Their job is to listen to what their constituency wants. If they refuse to listen, we can vote them out. Registering and pre-registering to vote has never been easier. If you plan on voting in California come the 2018 and 2020 elections, you can text 788-683 and you text P2P, and there they'll send you a link to register or pre-register to vote. So the registration process only takes a few minutes, and it's required if you plan on voting and making a difference in our next few elections. If we want to end the violence, we have to make our voices heard to those who can make a change. We must work in large numbers to contact our representatives on all levels. No one should go to school worried if they will be able to go home after the last bell, and no parent should be worried if they will ever see their kid alive again after dropping them off. As students, teachers, parents, and administrators, or even just empathetic onlookers, this is our time to make a change. This is our time to prove that as teenagers, we won't just complain, but we'll get up and work hard to make a difference. This is our time to rally together and to protest peacefully in favor of the laws that will save lives. Say it with me. This is our time to utilize technology and to tell our representatives to what new legislation we need to see. This is our time for our age demographic to show up to the polls in record numbers and to demonstrate that, yes, we do care. This is our time to vote out the politicians who gobble up money from the NRA. This is our time to end the recycled thoughts and prayers that defiant politicians use after every single mass shooting. This is our time to save the lives of 92 Americans that die at the hands of gun violence every single day. As Marjorie Stoneman Douglas once said, be a nuisance where it counts, but don't be a bore at any time. Do your part to inform and stimulate the public to join your action. Be depressed, discouraged, and disappointed at failure and the disheartening effects of ignorance, greed, corruption, and bad politics, but never give up. Thank you all so much for joining as we take a stand against gun violence and stand in solidarity with the students of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. These students have shown impeccable bravery after experiencing absolute trauma. They are resilient, tireless activists who need our support and voices. Together, we will take a stand and make sure that this will never happen again. If you wish to keep supporting the March for Our Lives movement, please join us at the official Stockton March for Our Lives rally on Saturday, March 24th at 10 o'clock a.m. at the Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza. Please remember to keep all of your actions involving March for Our Lives peaceful and informative. By promoting partnership and kindness, we can truly make a difference. Thank you. So we still have 7 minutes left of our protest. Does anyone have anything they want to say? Remember, please keep it clean. No explicit language. We want to keep it happy and positive. So does anyone have anything they want to say? Who said that? Get up here.
I just want to say, don't be discouraged by small crowds. I mean, I know we have a small crowd here, but this is a nationwide movement. And I'm tired of hearing people say that this is only, what good will come out of this? What good will come of walking out? What are we going to accomplish? And I just think that small movement, you know, I think that people are being discouraged because we don't see something massive. We don't see thousands of kids out on the street. I just feel like if we all start talking about this, if we all start at least bringing attention to this, if we all start talking about these issues, more people will get involved. What I've heard so much today is, what's the point? Or when we had our last walkout 2 weeks ago, I heard so many kids saying, well, what's the point? Why are they doing that? Nothing's going to come out of this. Why even try? But it sounds so lazy to me. It sounds like a lazy approach of like, well, why do we do that? What's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. If nothing comes, at least you can say nothing came of it. At least you are comfortable with the thought, well, I tried. But if you don't try and something happens, you will live with that guilt. I'm trying. We are all trying. I wrote a letter to my paper. I wrote to my senators. I tried. If nothing comes out of that, at least I have comfort in the fact that I tried. All of you are trying. Kids in Washington, kids here, kids in Oregon, they are all trying. We need more people to try. You need to encourage your friends, your parents. You need to get out and stand up for what you believe in. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, Lacey.
Woo! Give about a minute, okay? We can get more people.
So basically what I'd like to point out is that some of the older generations are trying to call out our generations and the younger people saying, oh, well, when something happens, they just sit there. They just complain. They just. And I'm kind of sick of hearing that, and I'm also sick of hearing them complain when we finally try and stand up for ourselves. So I'd like to say, even if they try to bring you down, just stand for what you know is right, even if you are standing alone. Because even that one person standing outside of the crowd will be noticed by someone, and you won't be standing alone forever, no matter what you believe in, as long as you are doing what is right.
Christina, did you have something?
Yeah. Go, Christina!
Hey guys, so I'm your student trustee, and I'd like to thank you guys for protesting in a respectful and peaceful manner. It's really good on you guys for that and getting admin approval. I'd like to thank Mana for giving her speech and encouraging you guys to become involved in politics, because whether or not you agree with certain gun legislation, ideas being passed around, whether or not you agree that we need to reform things, you should be active in politics, and you should make your voice and your opinion heard regardless of whether or not it supports certain people's agendas. So do what Mona said, register to vote. If you're 18, pre-register to vote. I think that's great. And then that's all I'd say. So good on you guys. I'm so shaking.
Okay, so it looks like our crowd has steadily gotten bigger. Is it okay if I get a picture just to document this?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you get my good side.
Okay.
Let me get where you
Okay.